Hey, how's she going? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's Workshop. Boys, it's a nice day today, so I'm glad you dropped in the shop. We're going to continue working on the 2010 CanAm 500 XT Max, putting the heated grips on. So I got the grips sitting out there in the sun right now warming up, and I want to show you a couple of options I had for how to glue these grips on the handlebars, and then I'll tell you why I decided to do the one I'm doing. Let's get over there and check it out. Alright, to glue the grips on, I did some research on Mr. Google and asked him what the best thing to use was, and he really didn't have a good, clear, definitive answer. I've had suggestions from just, you know, slide the grips on and go with it that way, because they'll be sticky enough, because it's kind of an interference fit when you try to push the hand grip on the handlebar. But I didn't like that idea, because it seemed to me that the hand grips would be still loose and maybe twist on you, and you don't want that. My other concern was I wanted to make sure that whatever I used, I might be able to take them off later, at a later date, if I wanted to remove them. So I didn't want to use something that maybe would be considered maybe a permanent bond, but something that would be a good secure bond, but you know, maybe could be removed at a later date. So some of the suggestions I had, in fact the suggestions in the instructions themselves said use a good epoxy cement. So I found this, well, this is called a plastic welder. This is not the one I was going to use, but it was a Permatex product, and it was a hardener and a resin, and as you push down on the plungers, of course, it comes out, and you mix it together, and that makes a good bond. But I thought that might be too permanent a bond, so I didn't want to use that. I was thinking maybe like as a last resort I'd use it, but my first choice would not be this. Like I say, this has plastic cement, but you can get just regular cement, glue, right? Not a plastic welder. Okay, the next thing was I had some Elmer's Fix-All cement, general purpose, good for gluing woods, fabrics, metals, glass, ceramic, things like that. I was almost ready to go on this, but the reason I didn't use it, or I'm not going to use it, is it says it's a flexible cement, so that means it'll still flex a little but hold things in place. And I'm thinking for a hand grip I don't want it to be flexible. I decided that maybe I wouldn't use the Elmer's Fix-All cement. Another thing I was curious or wanted to have was whatever I use for a cement, because the grips fit so tight on the handlebar itself, which is good, I like that. I'd like something to be sort of as a lubricant, so that as I put that on, then I can slide the grip in place and then position it before the glue would set up. So I wanted a glue that would be a lubricant glue, not set up for maybe 30 seconds or more, or even longer. Another thing I looked at was, this was an interesting one. Guy said just paint it. Just go ahead and get some spray on paint, paint it, slide the grip on. When the paint dries, your grip will be on there fast. So I have some Tremclad clear satin. One guy used clear just because he said then if you have any overspray, you don't have to worry about cleaning it up off the bike. So I have some clear here that I'm thinking I might use. And I'm liking this because when you spray this on, it will be liquidy and maybe cause a little bit of friction. Or not friction, eliminate the friction so that the grip would slide on good and I could position it, and it definitely would take, you know, maybe 12 or 24 hours for this paint to dry and cure, being as how it's under the grip. So anyway, the paint sounding like a good option. Another thing I checked into was, well, this is Gorilla Glue. This is, I forget the name of it, what it's based on, but it cures with moisture. So I'm thinking that might be good for, especially on the bike where it's going to be getting wet, it's going to be in the weather. Put this glue on and it would be waterproof. But this glue, it sets up pretty quick, and also it expands as it cures. So I'm thinking if I put that on the grip and I slide the grip in and get it just where I want it, then as the glue cures it starts to expand. Next thing you know I get bubbles or blisters or something in my hand grip. So Wasn't sure that this would be the answer. Another thing I looked at was this one, and this is the super glue, but it's not like the super glue. What am I trying to say? This is a gel glue, so it is a little bit of a lubricant, and it takes about 30 to 45 seconds, they say, to set up. So I was thinking maybe if I use this, I could position the grip on the gel might be a good enough lubricant to get the grip positioned, and it would give me a little bit of work time before it actually set up. So I was almost ready to pull the trigger to use this one, but anyways, I decided maybe I wouldn't. Another one that I looked at was a spray-on adhesive that you get in the craft store. But when I looked at that, when you spray it, it's immediately tacky. So I thought, well, that's not going to work as a lubricant, so I'm not going to use that. The other thing was I was going to put contact cement on. That, to me, that was a really good lubricant. It was nice, like it was gooey, so it would make a nice lubricant to slide the grip in place. But of course, you know, with contact cement, you're supposed to put the glue on both surfaces, wait till it gets tacky, then as soon as you stick it together, boom, it's supposed to be stuck together. So I didn't want that, and I wasn't sure how well it would cure if I put pieces together when the glue was wet. So anyway, what am I going to use out of all these products? What I decided, I'm going to try the Trim Clad paint. I'm going to try this first, and the reason I'm trying this first, this may not work, right? But the reason I'm trying this first is because I think, and I may be way off base here, but I think if this doesn't work, I have the option of removing the grips and trying something else. So let's go over, I'm going to spray this on, and we'll try and put one grip on, see what happens. Okay, so I sanded the bulk of the paint off the handlebar, and I've had this grip sitting out in the sun for a little while now, so it's a little bit on the warm side. So it does slide on there with a little bit of an interference, so that feels pretty good. One thing I want to do is make sure that the grip, first of all, is the right size, and it is. And I'm thinking I might, in order to clear the throttle and still allow me to get at the adjustment here for the throttle idle, where I'm going to want this wire to come out. So I think I'm going to put it on so that the wire will come out maybe like at 4 o'clock, right? Okay. Wish me luck here. Okay, what I did was I got a piece of cardboard, just cut a hole in it to slide over the handlebar here, just to try to minimize overspray. I don't mind telling you, I'm nervous doing this. But anyway, let's try it. And I'm going to put a little down in the hand grip too. Okay, take this off. Wish me luck. It's hard going on. That's what I was afraid of. Need a hammer. See if I can turn this now. And that's on there some tight. Well, I guess the wire's going to poke up the top. That's no good like that, I'll tell you that. Okay, it's on. The wire is sticking up the top. I don't like that, but it's out of the way of the it's out of the way of the throttle. Ah well. Okay, we're going to try the other side now too. I guess messed up one side, may as well try to mess up the other. So I'll put some of this paint on here. try the inside again. Got paint dripping everywhere. I'm going to hammer this on the whole way. So that one's on, and I got the wire pointing down, so that's better. It's not in the way of the brake. Kind of disappointed with the other side, but live and learn, eh? Okay, this is the thumb throttle, and then I had this extension. I put this extension on it because I found, well, my thumb would get sore. So then with that extension I can kind of use the palm of my hand as a throttle. Kind of almost turns it into a twist grip, but it's a hybrid sort of thing. Anyway, I'd like to leave that on there, but the little connector here that holds this thumb extension to the throttle hits on the collar of the hand grip. So I have to cut that off. It's just rubber, so I'm just going to cut it off. There, that seems to work pretty good. Okay, now here's the thumb warmer, the element for the thumb warmer, and it's got double-sided tape on it. So that normally would go right on the gas throttle, but I'm going to put it up here a little bit, right about there, about halfway down, because normally that's where my thumb rests, right there, eh? So we're going to peel this stick off, and we'll position that right about there. Okay, that should be good. Now, another thing they sent with it is a big piece of heat shrink. So that's decent. That'll go over this. Kind of tight, but it goes over it nonetheless. And we'll push that in as far as we can, because then that'll help protect that wire coming out the end of it. About like that. Now we have my heat gun here, so we'll shrink that. I think that's going to be decent, eh? Now my wire can come out here and connect up with this wire, and I have to run it down under the cowling. But anyway, I got the grips, both grips on, and the thumb warmer on. Wasn't too happy with this right grip here because of the way the wire went on it, and then I was trying to turn it with my Stilson wrench and kind of mucked up the little rubber grip on there. But anyway, I'll get used to that. Well, I got the hand grips glued on the handlebars. That was what I was aiming to do, but oh man, I messed up that right one. But anyways, we got it on. I think the paint might work, eh? It certainly sticks them on there, because I couldn't twist that right one around at all. So the wire's sticking up in the air, but yeah, well, some days you're the hammer, some days you're the nail. That's the way she goes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video about getting the hand grips put on the CanAm 500 Max XT. Come back to the next one when I'm going to wire them up and see if they work. I hope they do. Thumbs up me, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe, have a great week. We'll talk.